Right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. I'm very excited. I'm a little nervous. I can only read a portion of this book's text. So before I dive in, here's just a little bit of context. Tales of Fort Denial follows the journey of a glitching adventurer who enters an unknown land/system and is drawn to search for Fort Denial while being pursued by a mysterious creature. The making of this book has been a 2-year quest of its own, from conception and research to writing, design, and finally the production of a hand-sewn letterpress and risograph printed book. Tales of Fort Denial draws inspiration from 13th century Grail Quest poems, Renaissance herbals, dreams, word hoards, early video game systems, and their manuals, synthesizing these into a long-form poem that in turn draws the reader deeper into its world. You are outside now. You begin to look around. It is dusk, and great trees rise before you. For you've come to walk the forest's edge. You've come to Fort Denial. I was holding a picture wrapped in fluttering paper. It was an artifact. Perhaps it was generated. I didn't know, but I was holding a picture of a small spotted deer printed on a piece of cornflower blue paper. The air was windy, and the thin wrappings blew away, leaving only the picture. And I saw there was something typed below it. I held the picture in my hand and mouthed the words, "Read the manual carefully." Atop a fairy rise, a cold stone mound where elves might reside, and with milk caps all around, on whose tops, alive, were spiders who merrily spun their twine. They were spinning little skulls. Oh, how I liked the skulls, how I did like their looks. Laughing, they seemed to agree. There was someone else there too, dodging me, sneaking through the trees, something that loomed high above. It was the marble figure, tiny and menacing, come to bellow threats at me. It said it wanted coins now, and wagged its finger pointedly. When it bared its teeth, I realized it was a grin. "I have another joke for you," it said. "Imagine a deer. Its head will be mounted, and its eyes will be painted red." This inspired laughter from the wretch. "That is you. You are the error." And with this, it sauntered away. The cracking of walls and pinpricks in my skin were clues that I had arrived to a point inhospitable. The maniacal chittering of heels on hard stone indicated my course ahead. It took long years, but at last I had arrived to a place of access. And so I continued onward and round. to higher landscapes, where none were welcome, and my clearest destination left unsaid. On that road, along a ridge of twisted ore, I observed between glowing red effigies, lifeless two-bit jousts that looped endlessly. Feathered wisps rose as they fought, and then settled, dry and dead, underfoot. Daylight resumed, but with a peculiar orange turbidity that made it feel dirty and swathed me in hazy light. Finding cauldrons for panning and dowsing rods aplenty, I added them to my pack. I continued confidently into the wilderness, only stopping to free myself from the mottling twine that had begun to collect on my limbs. But I saw no sign of anything more than trees and ruins, stumps and stones, repetitive in their irregularity. Nonetheless, I moved forward, deeper into the spinning forest landscape, and left no trace behind me as I went. Until I came to a chapel, bordered by split asphalt that twisted in all directions. Its walls were made of swirling agate, and its pews were made of bone. In this broken-down building were instruments of hunting, canes, oars, whistles, empty of wickedness, for now they were hung. There were low spreads of comfrey about, with an oddly human scent. I picked these to line my boots and build a fire for the night. With this, I would temper my twine. No souls lived in the chapel, but the aisles were littered with curling flesh. A floating eye, free of socket, hovered by the threshold, expectant and blinking, and just as quickly left. In this place, I found shelter and rested, and was startled when an inkling appeared, suddenly and in the northeast corner. They put a hand upon my shoulder and told me, "We have found another path." Please forgive my open book approach as this teller falls to bits. For at this point, a loop begins where volumes of wavy prose rise up to set and soften into arcs again, and in turn lay the foundations for my grand delusions ahead. Caught again. I am guzzling spy apple ale to allow my trembling grip to unfold from the cauldron I am holding. There is an old bandage of hareskin laid upon my head. I am in an overgrown ruin that is barrier rose-filled, piled beneath furs and blankets, watching long drifting waves, and brown birds wheel above and under the growing storm clouds that mantle my cloister of stone. A thorn jester sits on the crumbling wall, throwing my necklace with biting fingers, bead by red bead, onto a fire built from blackened clay and twine. He is calming my fears with a voice that chimes, that whispers, "Sister of moonrays, stay." Now a white sheet lies atop a pedestal. I behold the manual, but am too weak to reach for it. The thorn jester decants more ale, and with grand gestures disgorges a morsel of spy apple to feed me too. Such abundant courtesies he dispenses from his whip, lavish gifts of teeth and bone, now that he has me alone. I must be careful. These words are risky. A twitch of the throat could betray my thoughts. The granaries loom overhead so high, encrusted in cobwebs, thin streams of golden, golden. I am deep in the wood and cannot leave. I know not what to say. I hear the sounds of Fortinile and the instruments of the hunting, and I remember the empty house I left. I remember the forest, the edge of the forest, and the catch of something around my neck. Thorn Jester is gone now, left me for dead. Scattered stumblings, molded by lonely roads, rifling through threads to knit a lace of cells, and pass them as words of no resonance, hard to explain, of no alarm, strange, but no weather change, no auspices today. A skeleton in his pole house, content yellow armor and bright starbane skull. The keeper of found wrappings, of feathers wrapped in mirror strings, of spider webs, of code words. I am suspicious of his artifacts left in loose piles, false beads, false heads, pastoral regressions. But there are hauntings again, even in this reality, this utterly sanitized, spare room of the mind in which I spend my days in turpitude. In wind, a pious hum, the shimmering outlines of the ivory horn sky. In words, a hoarse grief, the horn of this pen with which I write, learned clerk that I have become. In hunger, felt in broad blows, vicious requests, as if to swallow me whole. Yet still faint, they are ringing. The sad bells, oh, I hear them, all the bells, so sad. For the creature, oak-crowned, glides motionless in the sky. Thank you. You can find and purchase this project at my website now. Just came out, mariannedages.com, and I'm on Instagram as Huldra Press. Thank you, Erin and AB, for organizing this. Thank you to all the other readers, and thank you all